There we go. Hello everyone, a very welcome to 2 for Flying. Um, Today in the stream we are going to be flying the Airbus A321 NEO by ToLiss from Portland, Oregon all the way to San Francisco, California. Um, as always, I'm gonna go over the stream a summary right now and then we can see what's gonna happen today. So first of all, we are gonna start off with a briefing in which I'm gonna discuss the route and weather. Then we're gonna do the pre-flight from the entire cold and dark setup. Then we're gonna taxi out, perform the takeoff, then climb to our cruising altitude and do our en route phase all the way up to San Francisco. And in San Francisco, we'll do the approach, landing, do some replays, and to the shutdown all the way back to the cold and dark state. So without further ado, let's get it started. I am going to start by giving you a briefing. And for that briefing, I am going to show you Navigraph. There it is. And one quick second. There it is. Here I am. Okay, perfect. This is all set up better now. So, as we can see our route here in Navigraph now, we have the departure in Portland first. We're parked somewhere around here, and we're gonna taxi out to runway 28 left, which is right here. So it's gonna be down to Bravo 8. Takeoff follows the departure, which will bring us out like this. After the departure, we are going to be en route all the way to San Francisco, where we will be doing the Bodega 3 RNAV arrival. From the Mike Lima Bravo Echo Charlie intersection, which is here, the transition. Then we're gonna expect RNAV runway 10 right, which is the approach that I chose for today. And then it's gonna be taxiing to the gate, which is right there. So I'm quickly updating my Navigraph on my display here on my tablet. And once I have that up to date, yeah, just need to add the charts to my clipboard here. Perfect. It's all up now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so route is all done. We have nothing further to discuss about the route. Yeah, however, I'm going to show you a bit weather-wise what we're going to be looking at. Okay, let's get in here. Sigmat wise, we have a sigmat in the area which is showing turbulence, moderate turbulence. So that's something that we have to pay attention to. I'll also take a look at a surface analysis chart here. So we have this low pressure. I did see in the METAR that it's causing quite some wind. So we're gonna also check that out. And I will go over to the observations METARs here and ask for all these, including the forecast. So Portland weather, currently 2904 knots is the wind, 10 statute miles or more visibility, few clouds at 20,000 feet, broken 25,000, temperature 6, dew point 2, altimeter 3047, which is all fine. Forecast doesn't really show anything worsening. The San Francisco weather is 03028, gust 36. So that's huge amount of wind. This is correct. I don't want to be flying there right now. However, we're gonna go, and as we see, weather-wise, it should improve, hopefully. Yeah, 16 degrees, clear skies. Everything is fine except for this wind, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that during the flight as well. It's a simulator, so I can always change it if it doesn't suit me, but we're gonna give it a try and we'll see what it goes. Okay. There we go. We did weather briefing, we did our route briefing. So let's get into our airplane. So welcome aboard this Airbus A321 NEO. I just got this extension today. It's the ToLiss version. So we're flying as Alaska flight 3464, which is actually a flight from Portland all the way to San Francisco today, which is the reason why I chose to do this. Let me just quickly... Okay, my X-plane is being a bit of an annoyance. Let's reload my scripts real quick. We have enough frames. And get ground handling up here. And get the sound for the airplane. I want these all to drive up and no one else. So perfect. Okay, let's start with our golden dark setup today. Okay, so let's do some checks. Alright, gonna first set these displays as I need them to be. As we are on ground power currently, I can do this and it doesn't matter for battery. Okay, so let's go. Engine master switches are all off and the mode selector is on normal. That's checked. Gear is down and 3 green. Battery voltage is both above 25.5. So batteries are on auto. Dome light can go bright. I do want to check out this new button that they have here. Is there actually something new in this new airplane? There should be a engine dual cooling button. And I haven't actually seen this yet. Are we actually on board a NEO? Yeah, this is for sure a NEO. Let's open these doors real quick. Because we want people to actually get in here. Let's see. Yeah, this should be fine. So, maybe this is not the Pratt & Whitney engine. Not sure. No, that might be why. Not all of them have the dual cooling function. Okay, so let's get back to this checklist. So we have dome light to bright. Parking brake is on. Brake pressures are in the green. And these are all set. Yes. Now check that we are on ground power. We are on external power. That's checked. Then we can go cockpit lights. Set the overhead lighting a bit brighter. Get these lights brighter. Those are all set. Those are all set. Get my CDU lights as bright as I can. That's checked. So let's check our flap position with our flap lever. That's checked. That's all fine. Then go overhead. Probe and window heat is set to auto. Yep. APU is not running, so not required. Air conditioning panel, all lights are off, which is here actually, and they're all off. Cross bleed is auto because light is off. Temperature controls are set. Yeah, let's request a low pressure air unit, and that will get us some bleed air, some air conditioning going on. Electrical panel, the gen faults and external power is the only lights we should see. Ventilation panel, all lights are off. And crew oxygen is checked. Okay, flight preparation. So now this gets to the bit that I'm more familiar with. So we'll switch the ADIRUS to on. The IRS's on bat light goes away. So we can switch it on, and then we have to wait till the on bed light disappears, and then we can switch on the next one. That is how it works in this Airbus. So those are all three on. Then go down here, this is all set as required. This switch should go on, all as required. Ground control on. These are all as required. Then down here, strobe lights to auto, logo lights to 1. These are as required. Passenger signs all go on. Emergency lights armed. Landing elevation switch is auto. And let's check the flight plan. Today we are carrying 238 passengers. Can we actually carry this many? I should check. And that means that we don't use econ flow here for the air conditioning. Then all fuel pumps are on, so no lights are out. We press this, you see that the light is off. They're all fine. Engine fire test, so all lights are out. Everything is guarded. Then we test. All three systems are checked. There you go. Third communication system on. No frequencies required for now, because today we are not going to be using any ATC, since the default ATC of X-Plane is really not what I want it to be. So I'm just going to leave it without any, so no frequencies have to be entered here. Those are all set. Everything here is set as required. Let's get back to our cockpit here. Okay, and I will go set up our MCDU here. Or our flight management and guidance system, as Airbus likes to call it. Go here, we check that we have the proper engines. We have the CFM LEAP 1A engines, so that's why we don't have the cooling button. With the NEO mod you can also have the Pratt & Whitney engines, and those have something called dual cooling button. They have actually pre-cooling of the engine. It's something pretty complicated, you'll have to get into it yourself. I'm not going to explain it today. So engine type is correct, aircraft type is correct. We are on our navigation database that we need to be, and no drag here. That so no performance penalties are in the system, which is correct. Then we go init page, and we'll set up our route. So today we are, I can enter it from a flight plan here. We are gonna be Kilo Papa Delta X-ray to Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar, which is Portland to San Francisco 01. Enter this, check that this is correct. The alternate today is gonna be Kilo, I think it's Sacramento, so that's gonna be Kilo Sierra Mike Foxtrot. So it's KS Mike Foxtrot in here. We are flight number, we're Alaska 3464. So let's enter that. With a cost index of 5 calculated by SimBrief. Cruising flight level 350. Entered here. Request our winds. So the winds aloft are requested. And press the align IRS button. I'll go over the list that I did everything correctly. Yep, everything is in there. Let's go to the flight plan page. And I'll open Navigraph on my my tablet, and then we can see our route which we are gonna fly. It's gonna be Portland to Famuk, Firefly, Finer, Found, and then Mike Lima, Bravo Echo Charlie, and then San Francisco. And we have our alternate in here as well. Perfect. That's all checked. The flight plan is in there that we expect. So we're gonna enter the departures. So we'll go to Portland, select departure. We are departing on runway 28 left, so we'll scroll down to 28 left. We are using the it's the Mini 5 RNF departure. So it's Mike India November November Echo 5. So there it is, my Mini 5 departure with the Famuk transition. We go temporary flight plan, temporary insert, so it's inserted now. Then we'll go all the way over to San Francisco, our destination. Select arrival. Select the runway that we are gonna fly, which is 10 right. And we're gonna take RNF Zulu 10 right. Following the Bodega 3 arrival. With, as far as I know, we could take the via Stins, but I'm gonna go no via. And that's not actually giving me the... Oh, strange. Or is it? Aha, there it is. Mike Lima, Bravo, Echo, Charlie. There it is. All in here. Select and insert. Let's check that we have done everything here. We'll go through the entire flight plan to see if there's any manual legs that aren't supposed to be there. Okay, there is one there. Let's see where that is situated. It's after bricks because there is a vector final bit there. You know what? Let's change this. Let's go via Stins and then we can make it a bit easier. So we go arrival RNAV Zulu 10 right. Bodega 3 via Stins, flying Mike Lima Bravo Echo Charlie. So that's all set. Insert this. So what we have now, let's try this again. So that's the departure, Firefly, Finer, Found. Oh, that's strange. Okay, so clear, delete this discontinuity. And we'll continue, so it's Finer, Found, Mike Lima, Bravo, Echo, Charlie. Then that's already part of the Bodega 3 arrival. So we'll have the Bodega 3 arrival here, which gets us down to bricks. And then there is this manual part, which we also need to erase. So clear the manual, clear the discontinuity. So now it goes directly to Stins. all the way down to the runway. That's the missed approach. And that's end of flight plan. Okay, this now looks good for what I'm expecting. Then we can insert this. Okay. So all clears and discontinuities, all manuals and discontinuities are disappeared, are removed. Correction. Okay. Then in this case we will go to secondary flight plan, do the copy of the secondary, and we're gonna leave it for as it is for the rest. And we want to make a check of our flight plan on our navigation display. We'll go over to plan mode, go over to flight plan, and see what this looks like drawn on our chart. So just going over all of the stuff, activating constraint to see the altitude restrictions as well. Okay, so this looks pretty weird. Depending on how busy we are, we might not fly the entire approach like this. If we have time, I'm going to fly it like this and just monitor very closely what the autopilot wants us to do. Okay, this is set up. Go red nav. We don't need to set anything here since we are flying an RNAV departure. And it's not using any DME distance. So I'm just gonna let it auto select whatever it wants. And then we'll go to init B. So init, next page, and select the, yeah, go over to our menu and see all of our weights, and we're gonna add those here. So I don't think I can have as many passengers as SimBrief wants me to. So we're gonna go full load. And up to our zero fuel weight of 73.4, which now is 73.8. So it's using different passenger weights, I think. Okay, like this, it works out to a zero fuel weight of 73.4. So we'll apply these load settings, and we want a fuel of 8.9 tons. This includes 45 minutes of extra fuel decided by me. So we'll go 8.9 and fuel up. So what we want to enter here is our zero fuel weight and trim position, our CG position, correction. It will calculate our trim position based on that, but it's not actually our trim. So zero fuel weight is 73.4, and then a slash, and zero fuel weight CG is 31.0. Entered here and checked, and we have 8.9 tons of fuel on board, and we are positive on all of our fuel calculations here, which is very nice. Okay, that's all in here. Then we go to performance, and we'll have to have this again. We're gonna go check what speed it's gonna give us. Let's go with a flap 2 takeoff. A flex temperature of 60, that's nice. These new engines, they really do know what to do. So this means that we're gonna use these numbers. So we'll go first, set our flap and trim position. So we'll go flaps 2, trim is down, so Delta November 0.9. We're gonna go over to the line select key next to flap THS, and we set this up here. Flex temperature is 60. We enter 60. Our engine out acceleration altitude, we want this to be at least the minimum safe for the area. Let's see what our departure has to say about that. We want that to be 3,500. So we go 3500. Set. Oh, didn't mean to get that out of the way. Okay. And thrust reduction acceleration, we'll just leave it standard. And we'll enter our V-speeds, which is V147. Rotate at 147. And 150 is our takeoff safety speed, V2. That's all set. Okay, so continue with the startup preparation. These lights are as required. Set our altimeters to the local QNH. And the local QNH here in Portland is 3047 inches of mercury. So we want 3047 set. We should have an equivalent here. See what this gives. 1032 is 3047, so that's set. Also inches of mercury here. 3047 is set. Altimeter is set. Flight directors are both active. LS will come on both ND range. I'll get it to, let's say, 10. Then VOR selectors, I'm gonna go off on both, since we are using RNAV only for the departure, and I'm gonna go off on both for him as well. The MCP we have managed. Let's get our first heading here. Correction, first altitude, because the heading has to be managed, and the departure gives us an initial altitude of, let's take a look, there doesn't seem to be any. In that case, let's say flight level 350. Set. Okay. Clocks are 0. Anti-skid nose wheel steering is on. Everything is in normal. These are all normal. These are all normal. We'll go transponder on to above. Oh. There it is. Select the score code of 4121 and go to transponder. MCDU is in the takeoff page, and we'll go flight plan on the other one. Okay, we are getting ready to get pushed back, so in order for this to work, I'm gonna go select APU starter master to 1, and then we'll wait for the APU flap to open here, which will tell us that we can start our APU. Meanwhile, I am going to set up better pushback to give us a pushback once we are ready. Okay, for some reason it's very laggy here. Better pushback. I don't know what's actually going on right now. Let's try to get this set up. Okay. On the taxiway, facing the correct direction. Yeah.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Sounds good. Okay, APU flap is open. APU starter on. We have the APU start. We'll get the ground crew to disconnect our air for the air conditioning. We'll close the doors. We'll tell our ground crew to drive off. APU is available, so we can go external power off as well. We're on our APU generator now. And get APU bleed on for some air conditioning. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Let's go beacon light on, and all doors are closed, ready for pushback. So let's call them up.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Roger, we are ready for pushback. Let's get this ground crew to disappear immediately because they have been lagging up everything, I feel like. The scenery is also very intense. Okay. The guy is driving up. We're about ready to get going. Let's take a look at how he drives up.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Roger, clear to connect. So they're about to connect.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Starting engines 2, then 1. Okay, so ready for engine start. We'll select engine mode selector to ignition start. Starting number 2. Starter number 2 to on. And I will monitor the engine page We have N2, which is high pressure system rotation. At about 16%, we're expecting fuel to be introduced. We have ignition on. There it is. Fuel is introduced. And we're expecting N1 spool up now. Alright. We'll monitor this one from inside the cockpit, and the next one I'll look at the outside, because this is also the first time I'm flying the NEO, and I'm pretty amazed by how it sounds, to be honest. Let's get this up a bit more. Quick second. Okay, got it there. Engine is about stable. We are here on our pushback, so we'll go starting number 1. Master 1 on. And I would monitor as a good pilot should.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
But I want to see how this goes. So first I'll set the parking brake. Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Ah, beautiful. Our beautiful LEAP 1A engine spooling up. Getting to all its high bypass ratio. Goodness and efficiency. There it is. Engine is stable.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
See you next time. Looking for you on the left. Bye bye. Okay, so we'll go engine mode selector to normal. APU bleed to off and APU master to off. Ground spoilers armed. Rudder trim is 0. I just need to check this. Yeah, okay, and we'll go flaps 2. Select pitch trim to down 0.9. Oh, and I missed my ground guy. Ah, there he is. Okay, they drove off. Should have looked for him first. And I will go down 0.9. Right there. Get out of this flight control page again. Engine anti-ice is not required. Wing anti-ice not required. APU masters off. All doors were armed. That was checked. Go auto brakes max. So ready for taxi. We'll go nose light to taxi. Okay, and we are ready for taxi. So I'm gonna go check on my plate that we are where we expect to be. We're gonna taxi along this taxiway down there, all the way down to runway 28 left for departure. Winds are still favoring that runway as well. Okay, parking brake is released and let's get going. spool up the engines a bit. Whilst we start this, I can talk about the beautiful A321 by ToLiss and the NEO variant that we have out now. So the NEO variant comes with 3 new engine types, which are the LEAP 1A, the Pratt & Whitney ones, and can't come up with the next one, but there's actually 3 new engine types, and also a couple of passenger configurations, door configurations, and that match with the new cabin, and also the long range and extra long range versions of the airplane. So you get all the A321s that are out there. It's really a treat. I didn't even get to try out all of them yet. This is the first time that I'm flying one. Yeah, I'm really excited to try this out with you. So let's see, we are clear on the right. And this is the runway that we're going to be taking off on. Great. So I'll perform a brake check. Brakes are operational. Flight control check. I'll go full forward, full aft, full left, and right, rudder left, rudder right, and neutral. And we can unload this flight control page. That is done. Let's check that we are seeing everything. And ask for cabin ready. Press takeoff config, takeoff normal, takeoff no blue. Coming up on Bravo 8, holding short 28 left, and I will hold short here for a bit. Holding short, get rid of this checklist because I don't need it anymore. Okay, before takeoff, checks. Brake temperature is checked. Takeoff clearance will be obtained. Approach is clear. Engine mode selector is normal. Packs are on. Exterior lights will be set. So I'll go when we get takeoff. Transponder, I'll set that right now because that's one to reach for. To DARA, and weather radar. There isn't any clouds, so we don't need to turn that on now. So request takeoff. So we are cleared for takeoff. Runway 28 left. Perfect. Then I'll go parking brake off. Strobe to on. Runway turn off to on. Oh, don't need this up. Landing lights to on. Nose light to taxi. That's all set. Then we can go take off. We are on the runway. Start my chrono. And today we have plenty of runway. We are gonna do a rolling takeoff. Gonna spool the engines up to 50%. Aligned with the runway and checked takeoff 50%. Then flex, man flag 60, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Gonna go stick half deflection forward. 80 knots, stick neutral. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up, nav. .400. Speed is checked, flaps 1. Inner marker, get that off. That out of the way. Climb, lever to climb. And I will go after takeoff. Wheel lights off, spoilers disarmed, and auto brake is checked off. And flaps up. Okay, we're accelerating a bit too much. Let's get the nose up. Slow down back to 250. Alright. I will do the first few turns of the departure myself. Once we get to 10,000 feet or so, I will connect the autopilot, enable the autopilot to fly the airplane. There it is, our first turn after the departure. We are nicely high to stay clear of any terrain. Following the flight directors. That was Kelly coming up on Tudor, right there. We are cleanly configured now. Okay, yeah. There's the turn at Tudor. When you look on my navigation display here, I'm gonna first increase the range a bit. But there's this magenta dot, and the magenta dot indicates that that's actually an acceleration point. So that's where we would accelerate. Because we are passing 10,000 feet, we're going to accelerate to our cruise climb speed. Right now we're being limited by 10,000 feet of a speed of 250 knots. Also at 10,000 feet we will be able to turn off the landing lights that we have on. There is 10,000 feet. Let's go autopilot 1. Landing lights off, and check this here. Yeah, climb and the flight plan. And we're pretty smooth there, so I'm gonna go seatbelt sign off. So right now, hi. I'm hoping everyone watching is having a great day. We are in the climb. We just departed from Portland. We are in fact nicely en route, and we're expecting to get to San Francisco in about an hour and a half. So I hope you all very much enjoy, and I will continue to read through my checks and see if I missed anything or if there's anything left to do before we pass 18,000 feet. So I see Julie is back. Julie was one of my viewers for my last stream where I flew from, I think it was Phoenix in Arizona all the way to Portland where we departed today. So hi, I hope you're having a good day. And very welcome, of course. So as we're approaching Mini, that is the waypoint that the departure is actually named of, and we will be getting out of the departure phase. I'm going to increase my range on my display a bit, that we can actually see a bit more of our route, like this. And then continue monitoring until we pass 18,000 feet, where I'm going to set my my altimeters to standard baro. Coming up on 18,000, so we'll go standard, and they're all on standard now. Perfect. So we're at Mini now. I'm gonna do a quick fuel check. Mini, we should have 8.3 on board, and we are slightly lower. We are at 7.9, so we'll have to keep a good eye on this. I don't want to be running out of fuel, of course. The airplane might be consuming more than expected. But we will know that only once we start monitoring a bit more. So at the next waypoint, Famuk, I am going to check again, where we will probably be still under what we should have, but if it's the same, then we should be fine. Hello there. So we're coming up on finer pretty soon, and I'm gonna do another check, and then I'm gonna start setting up my my landing systems actually, because I just checked flight radar, and they're actually landing on runway 28. So let's go set up for 28 left once we get past finer here. I'm gonna go first to the fuel check since we are already there. Get my post-it note out. Check how much we should have. At finer we should have 6.3. We are at finer right now, and we have about 6.4, 6.5. So let's call this 0.2 over. So that means that my guess was right and the trend is getting into the right direction. Nothing to be worried about currently. So, descent prep. We're a little bit early for most of it. However, I want to get this done as soon as I can. So let's go to flight plan, set up arrival in San Francisco, select ILS 28 left via the Bodega 3. We're doing edit via and still the Mike Lima Bravo Echo Charlie transition is all set. And insert, then we want after FOUD, check this out, FOUD, then there, so this discontinuity should be removed. Done. Let me check if everything is in here. So this manual, I want it gone, and this discontinuity, I want it gone. So it's gonna be straight from first Brixa to Eddie, then the arrival, missed approach, alternate is there, insert, okay. Okay, this looks like what I need currently. So let's get the descent preparation set. I'm gonna go less on my display to make it look less intimidating, but let's get it going. Okay, so we will go landing elevation, go to the pressure page, auto is selected. The arrivals, we just did this, so I did get the approach via star and transition all in there. We are doing the 2.8, so it's gonna be a full crosswind. I'm not sure on the crosswind limits of this A321, so we'll see how it goes. To be honest, I think 33 knots across is gonna be outside of the limits. However, we'll see when we get there. It will be a good exercise. Okay, that's all in. Then we go back in here. So we're in the performance, go to the descent, check this is managed, and then approach, we want our weather information. So QNH in San Francisco is 29906, so that's 2, oh, I forgot that I wasn't in here, so that's 29.906. Entered temperature is 16 degrees centigrade, which is nice. Oh, no, I wanted the temperature. Okay, I made a mistake there. Temperature 16. Wind is 04033. So 040/33. Exciting. Transition flight level 180. The approach, let's check this out. The minima for the approach are, it's Cat 1 weather, so we're doing the Cat 1 approach. which is 213 feet above mean sea level. So we go 213 into Baro here. Oh, they changed it. Normally it's DA/MDA, and now it's Baro and radio, which actually it makes a lot more sense. And we're going to be landing config full. So config full is selected and the speeds are for full. Okay, looks good. Now I'll go in here. So we have top of descent, then the next waypoint, click onto this one here, and then go wind data, request wind. Alright, that doesn't work. Okay, that's fine, so it doesn't matter. We're not doing flaps 3, so I'll leave the GPWS as is required. Auto brake, so let's see how long the runway is. The runway we're landing on is 11,381 feet, so that's long. Let's go auto brake low. And ice protection not required since we are not in icing conditions currently. And then monitor, we are 80 miles from the top of descent, so we don't have to do that now. Okay, I am completely ready to get going here. Okay, I just read up on this, and we should be safe. Okay, ready. I'm completely stoked to get this NEO on the ground for the first time. Very excited to get this going. So I'm gonna go give myself the briefings required, because it's very important to brief yourself on what you're gonna do. So, we are gonna fly the Bodega 3 RNF arrival into San Francisco, starting at Mike Lima Bravo Echo Charlie. That's the waypoint we have to cross at flight level 290 or above. Next is John, between flight level 240 and 280, and we have to cross it at 280 knots. Then next waypoint is Bravo Golf Lima Oscar. We have to cross between flight level 190 and 230 at speed of 280 knots as well. Then next is Lozit, and we have to cross that at or below 16,000 at 280 knots. Next is Bodega, crossing at or below 13,000. Then Cork, we have to cross at 11,000 at 250 knots. And then Briggs is at 11,000, no speed restriction. From Briggs we are going to fly, let's get the other approach. I'm going to leave that up. Okay, so from Briggs we're going to go direct to Eddy, which is a waypoint. We have to be is the initial approach fix for the approach, and we have to be at 6,000 feet at Eddy, mandatory. Then next waypoint is Sidby. Between Eddy and Sidby we have to be, okay, let's get this in a quick look. Okay, this is all fine. I'm not using the X checklist anymore. However useful it may be, I'm trying to actually study the airplane and getting prompted everything doesn't help. It makes it a bit too easy. Okay, so Eddie, then Sibby, and from Eddie, after Eddie we're at 6,000, we descend to 4,000 to Sidby, then Sidby we descend to 3,100 to Heeman, then Heeman we intercept the localizer, we descend to 1,800, and at Duyet, Delta Uniform Yankee Echo Tango. It must be so funny to see me try to pronounce all of these waypoints. But at that waypoint, which is the final approach fix, we want to be at 1,800 feet. Now we intercept a 3-degree glide slope. Let's check if that's correct. We intercept a 2.85 degree glide slope, which is slightly less, so our rate of descent is going to be less all the way down. Then our missed approach is going to be okay. So I get the briefing done. I didn't check this out. So we're going to be flying the ILS runway 28 left approach in San Francisco. MSA is 5,000 feet in the northern sector, which is the highest. Let's check out if our frequencies are set. They are not, however, they will be auto-tuned pretty soon. So 109.55 is the approach frequency, 284 degrees is the final approach course. Okay. Minimas are 213 feet, which is set. Then RVR required half a statute mile. We have 10 or more, so we are good. There's no approach ban, and the missed approach is a climb to 4,000. And then as directed or as published. So we'll just do what's written down. Let's zoom in a bit, because we're getting very, very close now. Or it looked very, very close, even though we're not really there yet. That's why you want to be up to date on your zoom level on your display. This helps perfectly with situational awareness, and as my flight instructor would say occasionally, it's situational awareness that's basically the most important thing when you're flying an approach in a complicated airplane like this. This and energy management, of course. Because you want to know whereabouts you are in the approach or in your phase of flight, and you want to know what's going on in terms of altitude and speed and configuration. If you want to see a good example of what not to do, watch the stream I did 2 days ago. So that would be the video published yesterday on the 18th of January, and then you will for sure see some bad examples of energy management in the 767 coming into Phoenix, I think, from Memphis, where I had to go around actually. So I don't want to spoil anymore, just go watch that. We are coming up on close to our top of descent, but not quite. You can see 26 miles from our top of descent, and I'm completely ready. And if everything goes perfectly fine, I'm looking to vacate at Delta or Tango. Tango would be excellent on 28 left. Then we'll be straight onto the apron. So before we get to our descent, I'm gonna quickly look up where Alaska Airlines parks their airplanes, since we are Alaska flight through 3464, and I want to park where I'm expected to be. So let me just quickly do that. Okay, so I checked and they're using Terminal 2. So our taxi will be all the way up to the Terminal 2 gates. Yeah, okay. I know exactly what I'm expected to do when we get there. Actually see the west coast over this wing down there. I keep saying this every time, but I would really love to be flying and actually get to see destinations like this. However, the current situation, we should just stay at home, do flight sim, as I'm doing right now. So yeah, either stay at home and do flight sim or watch flight sim. Since I'm doing the flight sim, you can always watch, and you're more than welcome to watch. Which is actually the main reason I started doing this. Okay, there it is. I am very late. I want to be 6,000 if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's get this done. I was distracted so much that I almost missed my top of descent. But we are on the descent and verify that it's actually 6,000 that we have to descend to. Not that we make any horrible mistakes. Get rid of this window. Okay, there. Yeah, Bricks is 1,000, but we go straight to Eddie, which is 6,000 mandatory. Okay, I'm happy with this. And as we can see in the overlay now, we are in our descent phase. I am going to get everybody in their seats. Looks like we might be needing some air brake. I don't know if the system miscalculated, but we are, yeah. I maybe should have started my descent slightly earlier, might have helped. So we just passed Found. Let's go do a quick fuel check here as well. Found gives us a fuel of 5.7. We have 5.86, so it's still plus 0.2. It's the same, which is perfectly fine. And fuel-wise, we shouldn't get into much trouble now because we're going to be running idle thrust for most of the way down. Since that is for sure the best way to do it. Airlines are going to be very happy if you manage to get their airplanes all the way down the approach and landing without using thrust until you are getting configured on final approach. And that's the way that they would like to get it done. Okay, we're accelerating a bit too much. I'm going to give it a bit of speed brake, maybe just under a quarter. You can see speed brakes are up. See here as well. And it's causing our speed to stabilize and our ability to descend through as well. Let's go get the weather update. See if it's still as bad. Still gusting 37. What's going on here? It's the low pressure, right? I think it is. Okay. Well, we can do it. We just started our arrival, so we are at Mike Lima Bravo Echo Charlie, and now we are headed towards John. And you can see nicely the constraints here are displayed. And we're getting back to speed, so let's get speed brake back retracted. Maybe one of these days I'm going to get the add-ons for the Thrustmaster Airbus system. So yeah, I didn't tell anyone yet today, but as of flight controls, I'm using the Thrustmaster TCA side stick and Thrustmaster throttle quadrant, and the Thrustmaster rudder pedals as well. I'm not being sponsored by Thrustmaster, I wish, but no, I just really like their product, and they are an inexpensive way to do some proper flight simming. I did have the Cytec yoke before, which now is Logitech, but it started to wear a bit because it was getting rather old, and yeah, I'm actually really happy with this upgrade, even though in total this whole package costs slightly less than what it would have cost to get the Cytec one. Anyway, price isn't always what's defining a product's quality. You have to read your reviews properly and then find out if it's worth it for you. Okay, here's 24,000 feet, and we are before our waypoint, so we level off and we'll, what am I saying, reduce speed ourselves to 280 without doing anything since it's calculated. We're still slightly fast, so I'm gonna get some speed brake in anyway to get this reduction done quicker. Don't want to have too much energy, but by having speed brake out, you're kind of wasting energy as well that you might use more efficiently later. However, we don't want to be both fast and above our glide, our profile, so speed brake is what's required, all the way up to half, which is the maximum you can do with the autopilot on. We're back on our speed and we are starting to regain some descent. As we look outside the window, we have a nice view of the San Francisco Bay Area. Actually, pretty cool. Fortunately, not as built up as it is in real life. Okay, we are back up here, so get speed brakes retracted. See how the airplane manages to descend. Nice and quiet up here in the cockpit. Surprised by it, actually. Okay, we're approaching 18,000, so I'm ready with the QNH, which in today is 29096, which is what I set up there. Okay, 29096 is in my head. On standby in my head, ready to get going. Good. Yeah, I'm gonna get some speed brake in again. It's not really doing what I'm expecting it to. Okay, great. Get back here. Okay, so I missed some setup steps. Definitely missed some setup steps here. Get wind shear on because the wind is pretty violent. The next limit, we're at Bucklow now, still 280 knots. There it is, flight level 60 is... I actually want 1000, so I'm gonna select 1000 since it's not really doing that. Okay, we're approaching transition, let's select 29er Niner 6 is set and cross-checked. Okay, we're good. If you look closely, you might even be able to see San Francisco Airport. I don't know exactly where it is. Doesn't matter. We'll be there soon anyway. Okay, let's get our range zoomed in a bit. ILS is tuned. Okay, that's fine. Just to be sure, and go back to descent. I did miss some steps by following this checklist, so that is actually something I'm gonna have to look into tomorrow to get it done for the stream tomorrow. Perfect. Okay. Nicely, just slightly above profile, slightly above speed, but I don't feel like correcting because it's gonna be fine. There it is, we're on profile now. Speed will drop as we reduce our rate of descent. The Bay Area with Silicon Valley nearby, all of the big tech being located here. That's really, really cool. Okay, approaching Lozit. We're below 16,000 at 280, so we fit the limitation here. Then for Bodega, which is next, we want to be below 13,000, so we have 1,400 feet to descend. Okay, does this actually look like something the airplane is going to be able to do? Yes, for sure. So this looks perfectly fine. Haha. There it is. There is San Francisco International. Nicely planted down. So we're gonna go fly straight over that. Then out. And then we go to the eddy transition for the via eddy for the arrival, for the approach. On our speed below 13,000 now, so we fit for Bodega. See the D there? When we get there, I want to be on activated approach, but I'm gonna do that before we get to eddy, of course. So normally this line is straight, but since we are coming in for a turn, we're gonna turn in like this. Curious if it's gonna work. You can see some pretty strong winds here, and it's getting a bit turbulent. So I see where the wind comes from. That's in the METAR. Okay, gust seems to have died down and the mean wind speed is 20 knots now, so getting a bit more relaxed. Although 20 knots is still a lot, it's should be definitely within the crosswind limits of this airplane. I don't have the limitations right in front of me. I'm gonna check after, and for the next stream I'll definitely know. So I'm also gonna write that down on the post-it that I don't forget. Okay, we're at 1000 now at Cork. And slowing down to 250 knots, which is right perfect. And then for so we're Altstar speed. We have no speed break in. It's fine. Maintaining 1000 until we pass bricks. See that? You see how much crab we have to use? The green diamond there is where we're actually going. And what we're showing is our heading. We can take a look. Out here, you can see. This is absolutely not working. Okay, that's something's wrong with my outside views today. I don't know what's going on. I do like the sound that my Leap 1A engines are making. Almost at bricks, and at bricks we're going to descend to 6000. So I have my approach plate ready, since that's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be over Palo Alto by the time we get to Eddy, which is the Google place where Google has their headquarters. It's pretty cool. So we passed bricks now. I can go descend 6000 and go into descent mode. And the airplane starts to descend. Okay. Still monitoring and getting my range a slight bit closer. Have a better view of what's going on. Okay. I have a feeling I want to get this slowed down. So I'm gonna go activate approach phase. Is set. Thrust idle and select green dot speed. Okay, actually let's help it a little bit. Oh, and I forgot my landing lights because we're below 10,000 now. Okay, let's go flaps 1, so... Oh no, we're getting back over our speed. Okay, it's having some descent issues. I'm gonna go back, give it some speed brake. Once we get to Eddy, I'm gonna select 4000 for the descent. Okay, we're good on speed. Go speed check, flaps 1. Speed brake back. Yeah, flaps 1. Go back to speed managed. There it is. 4000 can now be set. Okay, looks like actually I could have waited for a little while to deploy the flaps, but it's actually looking pretty good now. Okay, there it's going to descend to 4000. I don't know why it added so much power there. It could have just slowed down and descended more efficiently. Okay, that's just the computer being a bit silly, I think. Okay. So we did cross over. I'm gonna go select my thing. Identified, checked. And we're still in descent mode and it's gonna intercept localizer first. So let's go approach armed. Glide slope and localizer armed. And then we'll go autopilot 2 engaged. And we'll manage all the rest. Coming up on SIDB, then we can descend to 3100. We want Heman 3100, then immediately descend to 1800, which is our platform for the ILS. Okay, perfect. We can see the airport maybe? We should be able, there it is. Okay, airport is right there, that's what we're aiming for, 28 left. Nicely descending down. I'm waiting for radio altimeter to get flaps 2 out, because it's extra track we don't really need yet. Okay, loc star, glide star, glide slope. So we're actually not following this anymore. However, I'm gonna set a I need 1800 first, so let's set 1800. Localizer. So we're on localizer, on glide slope. So technically I can set 4000 now for the missed approach. Yeah, I'm gonna select 4000 for the missed approach.
$2,500.
There's 2500, so we'll go speed is checked, flaps 2. Well, that was a close one. And gear down. Auto brake is low. Gears down. 3 green. Speed is checked almost.
2,000.
Speed checked, flaps 3. Go chime. And spoilers armed. Lights as required. Flaps full. So landing no blue. At 1000 let's disconnect. It's gonna be exciting with these winds because you can see how much crosswind we have. Will be a big fail if I land badly with these. Okay, autopilot disconnect.
$500.
Checked.
$400.
Land.
$300. $200.
Slightly low.
$100. $50. $40. $30. $20. Retard.
Oh, it's a long landing.
10. 5.
Oof. That's a wing strike there. Okay, let's take the next exit. Okay, my frame rate has just gone. Guess it's the airport. Okay, I don't know why it's not turning. Okay, yeah, it's the airport that's really making it struggle. Okay, let's just stop for a quick second. Set our parking brake. Get ourselves oriented. That is where I want to go. That is Zulu. So I'm facing Zulu at Sierra 1. Okay. I guess I know where to go, or whereabouts to go. After landing checklist. Landing lights off. This is the taxi. Strobe to auto. Spoilers disarmed. Flaps go up. Weather radar off. It's gonna be a fun taxi with this horrible frame rate. See where I need to go. But first of all, let's get some replays up. So I'll go option R. I'd like to get a view like this. However, if you see my frame rate now, I think you can tell that I'm not going to try one of these today. Let's just go for the wing views. Trouble is, I don't know how far out I am. Okay. Somewhere about here. Close. Landing very long. Not very proud of this landing. However, it was soft. But I should have gone around because I technically wasn't in the touchdown zone anymore. However, I didn't feel like trying to land in these crosswinds again. And then you can see how my wing was lifted horribly. And I managed to get it back down with full right aileron. And now we can actually find out if it was a wing strike or not. I'm afraid a wing strike or a pod strike, I don't know which hits first, but something got broken on this airplane. Always keep flying the airplane, even though you're on the ground. That's what they teach us. Whew. Looks like I made it. Okay, barely missed the ground, but I'm very happy to report that my airplane is still intact. I love how the reverser sounds here. Yeah, that's great.
$300. $200.
Trying to decrab here.
100.
But not yet, of course. I'm only doing it when I'm in the flare.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
And then I float it a little.
10, 5,
Okay. Let's try one more time to get an external view. It's horrible. Don't know what's... Nah, okay. No
50.
external view. We'll just go back here and we'll taxi to our gate. Okay, so there's Mr. X scenery. I'm using the San Francisco Mr. X scenery. I don't know, it never really behaved like this before with the horrible frames. However, if I don't look at it, we're gonna taxi to our gate pretty swiftly. Okay. Get rest of the after landing done. So I'll start the APU. And then check our brake temperatures. One of them is pretty hot, so I'm gonna use brake fan when we get there. I don't really know where to park. I thought I was somewhere else. However, I'm not sure anymore. Okay, that's not where I'm supposed to park. This is? I think so. Oh, it's working okay now. There's something wrong there. I think it's all these objects that it's trying to load. Getting a bit fast. It feels like we're going a bit fast. Okay. I think this is the place where I'm supposed to park. See. 56 Pro. That's not. Okay. This part of the video is where I get very confused about Alright, I see now. This is exactly where I want to be. So, let's choose this spot to park. Why not? Because we're here. Get in here. Get out of the way, guys. Okay, turn you off. You can come off. And we'll go engine master 1 off. see if little guy appears to help us park. If not, we'll have to cheat a little. Okay, he doesn't, so it looks like it's gonna be the cheaty way. Yeah, no. Okay, keep it the cheaty way. Okay, set my parking brake. Parking brake set. APU bleed. Oh, I didn't start my APU, damn. Okay, then in this case, I have to wait to get my APU started. Then I can get on bleed and switch off engine number 1. APU is firing up. Okay, this has been a little bit unprofessional. I hope to do better next time, but who knows. Alright, we're still not on flaps up, so let's do that as well. APU is available. Select APU bleed. And then we can go number 1 off. Okay. This is a lot nicer. Parking checklist, so that's all done. Seatbelts can come off. It's done. Fuel pumps off. It's really struggling with the frames here. Man, oh man. Transponder to standby. Make sure that it isn't standby. This is standby, and let's see if we need brake fan here, so we'll go to wheel. Still pretty hot, so brake fan on. Oh yeah, it's actually saying hot. Okay, then let's get her on external power, so we'll go external power on, and yeah, we can switch off the APU. Okay, so APU is on, then my ADIRs can come off. Emergency exit lights to off. No smoking to off. And that's actually ready. So we are now completely secured, ready for the next crew to take her wherever she needs to go. Get some ground crew driving up for my final scene. So right now I would like to say thank you all for watching my stream. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, I'd love to see you next time when I'm around. I'll announce every stream on my channel, so the best way to find out is to subscribe and ring the bell. If you did like the stream, please do consider leaving a thumbs up, and if you have any comments or any advice or any requests, just leave a comment on the video or follow the instructions in the description below, which you can see as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys the next time. Bye bye.